If you follow my content and follow the Age of Empires 2 scene, you've probably by now heard of the player Huang. I introduced Huang to the scene with a video, The Legend of Huang, followed up by many other videos at a time where the graphics were obviously very different, and he would only play Huns. Years down the line, he then moved on to the Definitive Edition and became very well known for destroying people's town centers, which then led to his famous quote of Celt Eat TC. Now, recently, Huang's been practicing with random civilizations, which is common for the majority of the high-level scene, but very rare for him. And on this particular day, I was in queue, and I found myself up against Huang. I just beaten Huang in the previous game. He was Ethiopians, and he went for siege and knights, and I eventually went full feudal and somehow found a way to kill him. But in the next game, the Age of Empires 2 gods had different plans. So before we jump into it, let's talk about the ingredients that you need to beat Huang. First and foremost, ideally you would want a map that does not have a lot of resources. You do not want Huang to be able to go fast castle easily. The second thing you want in the map is you want to be far away from any hills, any position that Huang can control with his siege, so he can push and punish you easier. The third thing you look is for a lot of space to expand to. Huang's army composition is very slow. He picks one position. If you can move around to different areas of the map, oftentimes you can avoid him and find a way to beat him. The next thing you'd like is a civilization that gets redemption. If you have redemption, you're able to convert his knights, but also then convert his siege, which is the important part of that tech. And then last but not least, you do not want Huang to be Celts. And ladies and gents, this is the map that we got. Here's the game. We're going to cast it. There's tons of food. All of the resources are right around the town center. I am at the bottom of a hill. There's not different spaces to move out to. And Huang randomed into Celts, while I'm Ethiopians, a civilization that does not get redemption. It is like the worst possible situation up against a player like Huang, but I tried to turn it into a pretty fun game here. So, here I am in the blue on my Clown90 official account, the account where I'll just do a lot of crazy stuff, which I enjoy from time to time. Huang, obviously, over here in the red, playing as the Celts. You've got deer, we've got boars, you've got tons of sheep. So, fast castle is like almost always the only strategy you're going to see here. Huang had just lost me in the previous game, and so we're going to banter a little bit. I said OMG because I saw the civ. This is before I could really even see the map. And he just said, I win this game. And I said, yes, I think you do. And my logic was, hey, if I lose this game, it's expected. Literally everything that could go wrong for me this game has gone wrong. We also started with horses instead of scouts, by the way, which might not seem like it's a big deal, but it's always nice to have a unit you can actually attack with against Huang if he's running out across the map. But you know what I did is I put a couple of these horses on auto scout, and I was trying to think, how on earth can I do this? Like, how can I play this game? Because I've done it before. If you go fast archers, you might kill a villager or two, but then he's going to have scorpions and 1 or 2 knights, and then you're just stuck in feudal. So I was thinking, I'm Ethiopian to get plus 100 food, plus 100 gold. Let's try a fast castle, but let's maybe do something that Huang's not expecting. Now, the map was mega random, and mega random is what gave us this generation. Thank you, mega random gods. And I noticed there was water here. And Huang isn't normally a player that would play into water. So I was thinking, maybe what I could do is I could fish, and I could take some fish, because there's plenty of fish here in this water. Because, yeah, there makes sense for there to be fish in the water. Fishy, fishy fish. I thought that'd be cool. So, that's my plan as I head over here to dock. And life's going to get interesting for me. We're just trolling, right? I enjoy Huang's company, even though he's going to eventually try and eat my TC here. So I said, me no boar, you boar? And he said no. So he didn't take the bait. Obviously, I had boars. I think Huang at this point had scouted me and could see that I have boars. So I'm just, I don't know, trying to get in his head a little bit. Trying to make him feel bad for me and not come eat my TC or something. It's really annoying, actually. There's so many horses. It's like, do you even garrison your eco into your town center to shoot it down? Like, it got to a point where I just didn't want to do that anymore because I felt like it was idle time. Like, here's my horse. We'll see if he gets interested in trying to kill it. If it's one horse, it's worth it. Yeah, look, he's not interested in it at all. He's just taking out his boar. I think maybe I'm trying to get him to sacrifice. No, I can't take credit for that. That was auto horse. But I'm just trying to think, like, that is idle time inside the town center, right? Okay, so I got my dock up, guys. And, you know, the other thing about this is there's no berries, right? So, like, normally you'd want to mill on berries here. If there was no water, you would mill on the deer. But I was thinking the deer's close enough where you might not even need a mill for a drop-off point. But I now have more eco units. Like, my thinking was that I was going to have more eco units anyways. Somehow I don't. I guess because I had some TC idle time, because I'm a noob. Huang's horses are still just standing right there as I bring in my next boar. He's going to go for the mill approach. He also placed a lumber camp here. I decided to place a lumber camp here. I was just terrified of this hill. Like, he's going to run right through the middle. I guess I could have maybe gone for some walls here. Like, you know, lumber camp here. And walling that off actually would have been a really smart play. But when I decided to make the lumber camp, it was rather early too, right? Because I wanted to make sure I could get the dock. Now, I've had a bone to pick with Mega Random for a while, okay? And I feel like even if this is just a venting sesh, I feel like I deserve to have this little moment, okay? Because of what the AoE 2 gods did to me. There's normally just not a lot of deep fish on Mega Random generations these days. Not just like the icy ones, whatever. Like, there's just not a lot of deep fish. So I should have known probably that this was the case. I guess like with my casting experience, casting thousands of Mega Random games, I should have mentioned it and said like, hey, maybe we shouldn't dock. But I still kind of like the thought process. And I was just hoping we'd find one. But like, I feel like if there's one tweak I'd ask of the devs with Mega Random is that they'd add a little bit more fish. Now, I signaled my TC to tell Huang where it was. Again, which is like silly because obviously he knows exactly where it is. And Huang responds and says, yes, my cake. So Huang's ready to eat his cake. And he's on the way to feudal, as am I. There's his barracks. There he is going to gold. And as I stated at the start, plenty of resources to be able to go up to the next stage. Should be a grand old time. But I knew it was coming, right? Even he's like running around with all of his horses, making me so anxious. He has to scout with them together. It didn't feel good, trust me. And look, here he comes again. He's like, here I am. I know exactly where you are. Being a little pest. Okay, so I know at this point, guys, I am well aware that my TC is going to go down. I had no faith that I could possibly contest this. Also, did he really steal my sheep? I said, no, my cake. Yeah, that's my cake. Give me my cake. You're going to have my TC. At least give me some sheep. Okay, so I make a run for it over here because I'm expecting to lose this whole area. So my whole thought process was like, abandon this area and spread out. All right? Now, as I said in my little intro, you know, some of the times what you can do against Huang, because he doesn't produce a lot of villagers once his attack gets going, is if your eco spread out, like he might kill 5 or so villagers, but you might be even with him on eco. You can counterattack. There's a lot of crazy things you can do. Because he YOLOs it. Look, he's using all that, the use of the market so we can get castle. This guy's not planning on eco upgrades or anything. Now, for me, I've got 3 fishing ships working. It is bringing in food. Not efficiently, but it is still something. And then over here, I found the deep fish. And also this villager's been on shore fish, which is 200 food. So like overall, I'm gaining like, let's say about 500 to 700 food over here, depending. I mean, even more depending on if I find these fish. For some reason, I wasn't able to see this one because I couldn't see the whole box. But if I find all this, that's like 800 some food over there. For a guy who's not going to have a town center, that's going to be really important. The problem was like, docking in such inefficient ways meant I was behind on the food I needed. And it took me some time to click up here. Now, I mean, this is not a bad time, by the way. The time I'm about to achieve. It's going to be sub 16 minutes. But yeah, here we go. I'm starting to abandon the area. Now, you look at Huang's little horses. He knows my TC is there. But I believe he just put these things on auto scouts. We'll see if they go to the corner. It could be manual from him, but he's found me now. If he had one horse, this wouldn't happen, but I don't know why they're heading over here, but again, I believe it was just some double checking from him. And yeah, actually, I can't even say that that was auto scout. That's manual scouting from him, and surely he's paying attention. Look, he's even checking over here now, too. Now, originally, I was going to place a mining camp here. My whole idea was to give up this area and then get a castle on his face, because he never has anything at home, and he never even looks at his base. So he's up to castle age. What was that time? Okay, 1426. Great. And he makes the siege workshop right in my face to let me know what's happening. Obviously, I knew this was coming here. So I'm trying to abandon ship. And I'm making transport ships. I'm going to make a transport ship because I thought that it would be faster to get over here. And so from Huang's perspective, he says, I'm sorry. He's going to pop out here at the ram. And he's ready to eat my TC. Now, I'm experienced enough to know that, like, if I waited for the next age and tried to make a monastery, if I don't get redemption, the siege just kills my monks, or I just don't have the time. Like, yeah, I had zero faith that in this situation on this map, I could ever stop it. Now, I did wall in these villagers over here because I figured that if he does send anything over, I'm going to want to be protected. But so far, the KD's 1-1, the eco KD's 0-0. I haven't lost anything, and I'm transporting my villagers away. And this is my moment, guys. So this is what I can see. We know about his wood line there. But here I go, and I'm going to drop a castle on this guy's face. I'm going to eat his TC. He's eating my TC. It's only fair that I get to eat his TC. Now, from his perspective, there's got to be so much confusion. He hasn't scouted the corners at all. He doesn't know I have docks or anything. And I don't know if he really notices this, but he obviously has come right over to my wood line. And this right here is a problem, but I'd like to just check this. So I haven't reviewed this specific game yet. But okay, I'm in there as far as resources collected. The difference could just be the fact that the Celts chop wood faster, right? Like, I'm in this game. I've collected more food. The fishing ships have actually paid off. And obviously, I've got 8 villagers here that very much need to be kept alive. And yeah, from Huang's perspective, maybe now he notices I'm making a castle. So these villagers were transported over. I don't know if I have any more at all. I queued up a transport here. This guy's just going to hang out and go somewhere. But yeah, now my castle's shooting down his TC. How does it taste, Huang? My villagers are dying, by the way. There's no way for them to escape. I think I made the transport in the south so I could try and save them. Obviously, that was never going to work. But the funny thing is, I'm up against Huang, right? So I lost 8 villagers, but I'm only behind by 5 or 6. And, I mean, his villagers are exposed, and I've got Shotel warriors. The Shotel warriors have 16 base attacks, so they can kill villagers pretty fast. I have no base anymore. I have no base. But I've got gold. I've got food, because I added a couple fish traps. That's hundreds of food right there. And these villagers are collecting what little food I can as well. I've got poverty economy. But I've got a chance. Let's go. Let's go. Worst situation I could ever be in against Huang, probably. Like, maybe if the hill was literally right next to my TC instead of, like, 15 tiles away, it would have been worse. But I think you guys catch my drift. The Civ matchup, obviously, because he didn't even pick Civ. Super unlucky. The map, awkward as well. And so what I realized in this moment is, first off, Shotel warriors are not all they're cracked up to be. These things are paper, man. And you're going to see, watch this, even a freaking spearman is going to go in there and get a kill. But I also knew I needed to keep my market alive. So I just sent Shotels across the map. And so I'm able to keep my market alive because I'm buying and selling a lot at the market. So I think my early Shotel numbers, I was just expecting a little bit more of them. Now, Huang's got more town centers over here, but true to form, he doesn't really have a lot of food economy at the moment. 31 population versus 38, and the fishing ships have absolutely paid off. And Huang says XTC. No, I'm not making another one. He says, I have gift for you. No cake for you. Exactly. I'm not making a TC for you to eat. You've had enough cake already, Huang. This is why I like playing Huang. You know, we get to have these moments. Obviously, I also knew in the back of my head, like, oh, this is such good content. I've got to make it even better. I'm sure he knows the same as well. He knows people are always interested in these games. I still remember when Huang would email me games. So a lot of people don't remember this, but when the Definitive Edition first came out, there were no player profiles. There's no way to get Rex. Showtell Warriors! I needed to run away from that one. That was dangerous for me. But yeah, so like I had to like contact players to get recorded games because there's no like way for me to get access to games to cast, which was a horrible, horrible time, by the way. Even just talking about it gives me anxiety. But Huang would email me games, and like I remember one story where I was like talking to Nikov, and this is like prime Huang when he had just brought in the whole Celt thing, and Nikov was like complaining about how Huang just killed him and how it's so stupid. And then I got an email the next morning, and it was like, Huang killed Nikov. Good games in the description. So I've talked to Huang for a long time, and right now I'm kind of in the game. I've got no TC. I guess Huang's Knight. I don't know why he's over here. He must be thinking, where is he right now? That's actually it. He's looking for my eco because the score as well would probably be very confusing for him. So he might actually be thinking maybe he's docked at this point, but he doesn't exactly know. And like obviously all my focus is here. I've got food income. I've got gold income. Showtell Warriors have 16 attacks. So I'm hoping. Actually, quite unfortunate for him not to be able to find this stuff because he has the right idea right now. But he is booming and adding more villagers. So I am slowly falling further and further behind here. So I've got to do damage fast. Worker efficiency is not so good on any of these units over here. But it's something, right? It's better than nothing. It's better than just the game being over and have this not be a contest. Now, the first time I learned like how weak the Showtells looked, so I figured, okay, low HP, let's get some armor. And I'm looking now to see what he's doing, too, because I don't really have the best idea. I know about this town center. Huang is now bringing his knights into the middle. He's still very confused. It's a good strat against Huang, I'm telling you. Just like not having a town center to eat confuses the guy. That was a great shot from him. I wasn't expecting to be vulnerable there. And my Showtell Warrior goes in there and gets a nice little kill. Huang's got tons of monks right now and scorpions. It's Celt Siege, so it fires faster. But I spotted this because Huang had placed it right next to my palisades from earlier. So this Showtell Warrior is going to do an amazing job. I figured he'd be distracted, and this would be a great moment to move out. So here I come, and Huang comes back with his knights, and I've got more army than Huang. He's got that siege, but this is my moment. This Showtell Warrior is still going to town. Huang very tunnel visioned over in this area right now. Obviously, if his monks get conversions and his siege all hits, this is a problem for me. But I felt like I'm on the clock here, and I felt like there's that distraction on the other side that could be helping me. Little did I know that Huang wouldn't even look over there at all. Also, the horses being in there is actually a really heads-up play from him, because my Showtell Warriors had to take time attacking the horsemen. And I take the fight with pretty much everything I've got there, and it doesn't look good for me afterwards. Huang still only has 29 villagers. We still were able to do so much damage over here. But I'm just like, I haven't had a town center in so long. I've got so little. But I kept playing because of this. And I'm like, I've got a chance. And now he realizes, of course. All right, so Huang lost all of his knights in that engagement. I've got more Showtells on the way. I've got a Mangonel popping out. And Huang expected it. Really hard for me to win these types of scenarios against the faster firing siege. And Huang takes out my siege. Micros beautifully. Also converts some of my Showtell Warriors and still ends up having 3 Mangonels, to which I reply, GG. Huang's most created unit in the game was apparently 5 monks. He never had more than... Maybe it was like 5 Mangonels in the whole game. I don't know like how the capture age treats it. But it could have just been 4. It could have just been 4 knights. He didn't make a lot. But he sure knew how to make it count. And unfortunately for you guys, I can't bring a win to the table for everyone who's rooting for me out there. But I hope it was a fun watch because it almost worked. I wonder how this game goes if I never tried to be fancy with any of the Showtells. Because I think I lost like 3 or 4 at the start. And then obviously that was a semi-decent fight a moment ago before the final engagement. I wonder if I went in with like 25 show tells instead of 5 at one point and then 15 the next, how this game would have gone. The tricky thing there is it's really hard to think like that because if I'm not doing those other things, it's easier for Huang to play the other aspects of the game, and it's easier for Huang to make other decisions. And when you're behind, and when you're in the position I'm in, you kind of have to do damage, which is at least why I was trying it. But I feel like it was a more entertaining game than it should have been, considering no redemption, fast castle map, and he's Celts. It was painful, but anyways, I'm going to be taking a break for the holidays and trying to add in a little bit more content for you guys while I'm gone from like streaming and whatnot. There's going to be a video each and every day. I hope you guys have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas and whatnot. I'm not sure exactly what time this is going to be uploaded, so we'll say Happy New Year in there as well. But yeah, let me know your thoughts of this game. Thank God we've got people in our community like Huang, man. I wasn't that far behind. It made for a really fun game. I did have more food. Let's go fish traps. Exciting stuff. But I will maintain, and I'm serious about this, I'm not salty at all that I lost. Losing's a part of life. There's got to be more fish, man. There's got to be a few more fish. Like, this needed a deep fish. This needed a deep fish. From a map scripting standpoint, it makes sense, but I think with the way Mega Random works, there's like so much craziness that can happen. Maybe if they were to add more fish, we'd get these bugged maps where like fish was on top of grass or something. Actually, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, that's not a reason not to do it. Devs, make it happen. Anyways, GG guys. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.